Terminator Dark Fate was already dead in the water, and now that it's decided to go full Ghostbusters 2016, its flop status is now guaranteed. Good work, you morons! Here's an article from the never-biased Collider. Terminator Dark Fate director Tim Miller teases Machine Fighter character in Grounded sequel. Grounded sequel? I guess we all know what that means. Questions abound with regard to the upcoming sequel Terminator Dark Fate, namely, will this be the first good Terminator sequel since T2? I can answer that. No! It's no secret, this franchise has had a hard time finding its footing since James Cameron left the director's chair. That's an understatement, but those films will be a work of genius compared to this crap, suffering not one, but two failed reboots. Paramount hopes the third time's the charm. Good luck with that. Maybe this will be the film that finally sinks Paramount. But this time around, director Tim Miller has something the other films didn't. Linda Hamilton. And woke SJW feminist bullshit. Sorry, but even the real Sarah Connor won't be able to save this mess. Ahead of Terminator 6's Comic-Con panel next week, Miller destroyed the reputation he built with Deadpool, or, sorry, teased a bit about the follow-up, including what made him want to make the movie in the first place. Let me take a guess. Speaking to Variety, good lord, he was frank about the fact that he could have chosen a number of other projects, but he had a passion for bringing Sarah Connor back. Well, Tim, since this project is already a fail, something tells me this may not have been the best decision. After Deadpool, there were a lot of projects I could have chosen. Then why didn't you choose one of those? But I really wanted to see Linda Hamilton come back to personally continue her story as Sarah Connor, and add her to the ever-growing list of characters that have been destroyed by woke bullshit. Like James Cameron, I always find stories about women are much more interesting than men picking up guns. And why would that be, Tim? We don't have a problem with women in movies, but I can't help but thinking that there's an ulterior motive here. Jim's movies are grounded in reality and character and just happen to have time travel and robots. I'm wired the same way. I want to give audiences a story about Sarah and these new characters that nobody cares about and make everything as realistic as possible. You mean the SJW version of reality? I want to sit in the audience and believe that this shit could happen to me. That's how I'm approaching it. It's a science fiction movie, Tim. It's not reality. Miller says that before he brought in screenwriters to craft Terminator Dark Fate, and there were many of those, never a good sign, he actually assembled a room of novelists. And that's where Mackenzie Davis's Machine Fighter character was born. Oh goody! Before we brought in screenwriters, we did a room with novelists at my request, and they're world builders, and we're reinventing the franchise. You mean destroying the franchise? Again. One was Joe Abercrombie, the first Law series, who pointed out that the Terminator films tend to have a trinity of main characters. One of those is the Protector, the Kyle Reese character. Joe came out with this idea that a new Protector from the future is a machine fighter, to which he said, "That's a brilliant idea. Let's make it a whammon, because anti-male films have worked so well in the past. It's a painful life, kind of like this film, and they're scared and take a lot of drugs to combat the pain of what's been done to them." That's what this film is. The Terminator franchise on drugs. Very bad drugs. They don't live a long time. Like the Terminator franchise after this film. It's a very sacrificial role. Like the Terminator franchise was to make this film. They risk death to save others and yell at the patriarchy. And from the very first suggestion, it was always a woman. Color me shocked, Tim. We had to look for someone who has the physicality, but I'm very sensitive to actors. I didn't just want a woman who could physically fit the role, but emotionally as well. Mackenzie really wanted to do it. Yep, who cares if she's suitable for the role or has any screen presence to speak of whatsoever? She came after the role. She worked harder than anybody. She looks kind of bored, if the trailer is anything to go by. And next, Miller becomes the iceberg, and the Terminator franchise becomes the Titanic. And those who may feel threatened about two women leading this new chapter of the Terminator franchise, Miller didn't mince words. It was nice knowing you, Terminator franchise. If you're all enlightened, she'll play like gangbusters. What do you mean enlightened, Tim? You mean by adopting the woke NPC delusion? If you're a closed-minded misogynist, and here we go, she'll scare the fuck out of you. Is she going to yell at us and accuse us of toxic masculinity? Because she's tough and strong, but very feminine. There's that strong whammon line we hear so much. We did not trade certain gender traits for others. She doesn't seem very feminine to me, Tim. She's just very strong. You already said that, Tim, and that frightened some dudes. Not really. We're just annoyed at identity politics being used to create characters over I don't know, creating good characters regardless of whether or not they are male or female. You can see the online responses to some of the early shit that's out there. Trolls on the internet. I don't give a fuck. Have you seen my videos, Tim? Did they make you sad? Well, I guess we don't give a fuck about your movie either. I wish you the best of luck. Right on. Adam Chitwood from Collider said, obviously, having given up his testicles a long time ago, Cameron is involved in Dark Fate as a producer. And Miller says he comes in and provides clarity in key moments and gave input on Miller's director's cut of the film. But Cameron is halfway around the world at the moment. He's moved to New Zealand to focus on finishing the Avatar sequels. Nobody cares about those. And his involvement in this mess isn't going to do him any favors either. But Cameron was involved in Terminator 3 in a producerial capacity and even gave the atrocious Terminator Genesis his seal of approval. So I'd honestly say Miller's version is more meaningful here. Is it because of Whammon, Adam? It's because of Whammon, isn't it? And I really like the direction he's taking the franchise. Grounded, realistic, but putting women front and center, just like Cameron's iconic first two films. Yep, it's only about the Whammon. We're likely going to get a look at the film next week at Comic-Con, but for now, Miller is definitely saying all the right things to get fans like myself excited for this new take on the franchise, and to chase away all the other fans. I keep saying it, and now I have to say it again. This is why we can't have nice things. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is deleting subscribers. And follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching and have a great day.